Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Ehrman.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. Hey, today let's talk about how flexibility in your premium payment is not good. Now, those of you that are not clients of mine are probably going to be like, what is she talking about? But clients are going to understand this. So let me just preface this with, for those of you that are not clients, there is flexibility in your premium. Not all of my clients have flexibility, but 99% of you do. There is a minimum amount that you have to pay every year, and there's a maximum amount that you can pay every year. And so ideally, when we structure a policy, we are structuring it so that the max amount is getting paid every single year. That is why we structured the policy the way we did. Now, if you get into a position where you can't pay the maximum amount, you can pay the minimum amount just to keep everything going. But I just got off the phone with a client who said that they were having a tough year. So for cash flow, they are paying the minimum amount. However, this brings up a really good topic because this happens a lot with clients, is that the flexibility is fantastic and it's there for the, oh my gosh, all hell broke loose. I can't pay my premium, the full amount. But it is not there so that you can avoid paying your full premium, because we set the policy up and we structure it in such a way that we need to have the full premium paid every single year. I have another client right now that has never paid the full premium. The policy is absolutely not doing what it's supposed to. It was not structured that way. There's a bunch of moving parts that we now have to go back and look at because they didn't pay the full premium, because they were scared. Okay, let's think this through. If you are needing cash flow, and this is exactly what I just told my client, if you are needing cash flow, and especially them, they're almost 4 years into their policy. So if you are needing cash flow, why not run the cash flow through the policy first? So if we're short on cash, we can still pay our premium, but then we're going to borrow against the cash value, and we're still going to go pay for feed, pay for seed, fertilizer, chemical, whatever business expenses you have. We're still going to pay for those, okay? Then we're going to have to pay that back, but you can pay interest only. So if you're having a bad year because of drought, like in her area, it is drought. If we're having a bad year because of drought, well, let's hope that doesn't continue forever. And so if you can't pay the loan back for 2 or 3 years, then just pay the interest only. But at least the money got in the policy because, and I say this all the time, premium makes you money. Loans do not. So if you take a loan, it's okay. Your money is earning interest. But if you never got it in there to earn the interest and the dividends, then what? Then we're not making money on anything. Instead, we actually use cash because we were short cash flow. So we used cash in order to buy seed or feed. But now that seed and feed just cost me more money. So instead of helping myself financially, I'm actually hurting myself financially. First, human nature says, oh my gosh, things are tight. I'm not going to pay my full premium. I'm going to pay the minimum amount. If things are tight, people tend to cancel their life insurance policies. Why? I mean, typically, if we're doing things correctly, we should not be in a position where we don't ever have money to pay back the loan. Now, I am not an advocate for having loans out there forever and ever and ever and not paying them back. But we have to be smart about it. What is making us money? We bought the policy so that we can start creating our own bank, yet we never deposit money in our bank. Think about that. We opened a bank account, but we never deposit money there. Then why do we have the bank account? What was the point of it? Right? Let's just pretend this wasn't life insurance. And it was the bank down the street. And you said, I'm going to take my money and I'm going to deposit it in my savings account. And then I'm going to turn around and borrow against it because they're going to continue to pay me interest if I deposit. You would be doing that all day long. But because it's life insurance, we have a different thought process because we've always been told it's an expense. Don't pay that. Is it an expense? I beg to differ. It's an expense if we need every red cent because if we put whatever we put in there to cash value, we're only going to get access to 90% of that to borrow against, plus whatever the growth was. So at some point, we're going to get more than we put in. And then it's not even an expense. That's not how I look at it. Yes, there's still a cost of insurance. Don't get me wrong. But if I pay my premium of $10,000 and my cash value is $12,000, was that an expense? We deposited it, essentially. We paid our premium so we could borrow against it to go buy whatever it is that we need to buy. Now, yes, we have the loan. And yes, that needs to be paid back. But the very first thing we want to do is go to the minimum premium. And instead of thinking it through and saying, well, if that's okay, if I pay my full premium, I'll just turn around in 10 days and borrow against it. Yes, 10 days. And I don't need to continue to beat this like a dead horse. So this is going to be a short podcast. Somebody told me the other day, Mary Jo, you say that and 20 minutes later, you're still talking. Yeah, I know. Believe me, you guys, I know. So it's really that simple. If I keep talking, it's going to get complicated. It's that simple. Unless all hell breaks loose, you should be paying the full premium. The policy was structured that way. It is not going to do exactly what it was meant to do. If you're a client, don't freak out and call me and say, Mary Jo, I haven't been paying my full premium. Then start. There's nothing we can do about what you've already done. Some cases we can backfill a policy, but not all of them. Just call Tierra and start paying your full premium. Call the office and make sure that thing gets paid in full. If you don't know if you're paying your full premium or your minimum, call the office and ask us what you're doing. Many of you are paying minimum premium and you're never putting the extra in and you don't even know it because you haven't been paying attention to it. Chances are you're probably not even listening to this podcast because you're not paying attention to anything. If you don't know, for heaven's sakes, call so we can get you in on paying full premium. Because it's important. We didn't set this policy up to pay the minimum. All you're doing is buying death benefit. You're not creating a bank like you were supposed to be. If you are a new person and you are not a client and you have no idea what I'm talking about, know that there is flexibility in these premiums. I will go over that when we have our first meeting. I will tell you what the minimum is, what the maximum is, how the policy works, how it's structured, all that stuff. And then when we issue the policy, you get those numbers. However, the minimum number is there for what? If all hell breaks loose. Okay. If you guys have questions, let me know. But paying premium should be the one thing that is a must in your world. And I've talked about this before. You can decide how you're going to live after you pay premium, or you can decide how much premium you're going to pay after you live. It's kind of like the Profit First program. You pay your profit, then you decide how much money you have left to use for expenses. It's the same thing. in our world, we should be paying premium and putting in nearly as much as we possibly can, borrowing against it. Yes, we need to pay it back. Maybe sometimes it's going to take a year or two, but it's going to get paid back. Okay, you guys, let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns. MaryJo@withoutthebank.com. If you've not gotten the book, why? What you doing? If you just heard about it, okay, go grab the book at farmingwithoutthebank.com. If you have listened to all 200 podcasts and you still haven't gotten the book, why? Go get the book. Then, once you have the book, you can set up your appointment with me, or you can get the Life Without the Bank book, whatever. Get whatever book you want. Then set up your appointment with me and I will go over everything. Okay. If you really, really want to be educated, you're going to get both of my books and Nelson's book. You don't even need both of my books. You just need one of my books and Nelson's Becoming Your Own Banker. You get those two books and you are on your way. All right, you guys, let me know if you need anything and you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.